3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?
You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
Ding dong. Hello?
Everybody 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I didn't get here because I was cute, or because I came from some famous wrestling family, or because I sucked up to the right people. I got here because I am good. I earned this championship.
Frustrated isn't the goddamn word for it. This is bullshit.
Brett made a very, very selfish decision. Brett's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. Brett screwed Brett. I have no sympathy whatsoever for Brett.
This is my show, and I'm sick of all of you calling me the coward. You're the cowards. I'm the one here day in and day out in that wrestling ring beating people up. Thank you very much.
I don't steal opportunities. I am the opportunity.
3 ain't enough now. I need 5. Welcome in, Jim.
I'm an idiot.
Ryan.
I'm a sausage guy.
Matt.
Who gives a shit?
Tim.
Right on the cock.
And intern Mark.
Hi, boys.
I'm going to tell y'all with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday. We are live Thursday night, May the 20th, 2021. We are still the podcast of the millennia. Make sure you go to 3countthursday.com. That's our homepage. You'll find all of our social media links, our YouTube channel, our merchandise over at whatamaneuver.net.
What a maneuver.
Thank you, Tim. Our Patreon page, patreon.com/3countthursday. Our collar and elbow deal, store.collarandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code 3count for 10% off each and every order. Our home network, of course, NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. And our secondary home is the Leeb Sports and Music Network. Ryan, where can they find that?
LEEIBsports.com.
That would be the one. And again, 3countthursday.com. That's where you'll find our home. And a 4-man crew tonight. But if you're watching along in the live video or you're checking out the video after the fact, you will see the substitute Matt for the evening. So we hope you are doing well. If you're following along with us in the live video, give it a like, give it a share. We'd appreciate that. Get as many people in here as possible. And,
now, Mark, you have not seen the picture that we put there for Matt, correct?
That is correct. I have not seen it.
Who do you think that picture is of?
The Red Scorpion.
No. Not the
We
Red
do
Scorpion.
have a good Scorpion soundbite, though.
We do.
He raked my back. Yeah, no, he didn't literally rake it.
So you're very close with one half of your guess.
The red.
Is it the red or is it the scorpion part?
The red.
Definitely the red.
The red.
If you think about Matt, who could possibly...
Mark, I saw you just breathed heavy, too. That's a good clue.
That's a clue.
Yes, you're getting there.
You look like you may have been sweating a little bit today. That would also be a clue. Red, sweaty,
bloated,
heavy, bloated.
Son of a billionaire.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
You're not talking about what's his name?
I-
It's got to be him. We're
Who's it
talking
gotta
about
be?
Shane McMahon.
The best in the
The
world.
one and only.
Shane McMahon.
The
Jim,
one,
you've gotten really good at the stopping.
and my eyes are closed. Is it sad that I have that the timing on that? I know it. We've played it that many times.
Yes.
That may be a problem. That may be Charlie as Tony Khan. I mean,
That
you
would've
do have
been-
the son of the billionaire part,
That's fair. That's fair.
but I mean, Shane can cut a promo at least. Tim,
How you doing?
I am good. I want to tell everybody, each and every one of you, actually, I'll tell the podcast boys first. Jim, Ryan, Mark, Matt, wherever you are in the ether, I love you boys. Love each and every one of you watching along with us, listening on the podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm good, man. Today is the weekend. I think somebody else is going to say the same thing, but I got wrestling. I have live wrestling this weekend. I'm excited. I'm going to talk about it later, but right now I'm just ready to go.
you're all excited.
I am. I'm very excited.
Jacked up.
I'm jacked up
Why am I
on
coming?
Diet Coke
Why am I coming?
because I'm off.
Ryan,
How you doing?
Good. Not coming, but I'm also off, so that's excited. I'm also off. I mean, I feel like I like you guys. Most other people I don't care for. So take that. Take that.
Okay.
That should be enough.
Yeah.
I like you guys. I tolerate most of the rest of you.
yeah,
And even then I don't really care for you.
I mean, tolerate's a good word. I tolerate a good
Yeah.
word.
How you doing?
Mark, how you doing?
Hi, boys. I'm doing real good, real good. I had some Hodecker celery this week at that little Roots Country Market in Manheim. I stopped by, used to be Miriam's Pies. It's now the Countryside Bakery. Same people own it, though. They had terrible name. But anyway, they had strawberry whoopie pies are in season.
Ooh.
Strawberry whoopie pies are in season.
Now, what type of cake is that?
Ryan, I'm glad you asked. It's still chocolate cake, but the cream inside is strawberry, and there's chunks of strawberry in there. Miriam
Chunks of
outdid
strawberry
herself.
in the cream.
Little chunks, but there's some in there.
That was strangely arousing.
It's real good. Real good.
That sounds pretty tasty.
I feel like
And,
those chunks of strawberry would hinder my ability to inhale a whoopie pie, and I would choke to
Well,
death.
No, I think
Have you ever
How
had
big is
the whoopie pie with like the bullshit icing where it's like whipped icing and it's not
Oh.
that gritty, sugary stuff?
that's not a whoopie pie.
Ruins
That's a
it.
gob.
Is it a what?
I think that's a gob.
gob?
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Gob. Yeah, the
I'm not
gobs
gonna argue
are,
with that. You sound like you know what you're talking about.
Sure.
Anything that deals with like whoopie pies or celery or Hershey Park, I just have to accept and believe that Mark knows exactly what he's talking about. Everything else. Oh, and Bigfoot. That's also another thing. Bigfoot aficionado. Look at that board game. We're gonna put Mark back on the big screen. Bigfoot, the man, the game, right
That's
behind.
from.
him.
Let me see if I can pick it up.
Oh, and a purple rain shirt today. Look at this guy.
Yeah, I got Purple Rain on for Prince. God bless Prince's soul. Look at this beauty. This is from 1977, I believe it is. Brand new. All right, now it's slightly used, but it's in the box. The Bigfoot game.
He doesn't look a
The
thing
kids are
like
having
Harry
a-
and the Henderson. These are.
It is like Harry the Henderson. Look at the kids on there. They're having a great time.
They are. They do look like they're having a good time.
And not at all in danger of being swallowed by Bigfoot.
Right. Like I feel like at that age, hell, even at 36.
What is the tagline for that? The giant show monster game?
Oh, Ryan loves taglines.
The giant snow monster game.
Giant snow monster game.
Wait, so they think the Bigfoot is a snow monster? Isn't that more of a Yeti?
Well,
A Yeti.
That's his cousin, the Yeti.
Oh, okay.
They're similar creatures, but yeah, that's a Yeti.
Like Josh from Tough Enough, the Yeti.
The Yeti. There's a car on the street like a block and a half from me that has a like If You Believe, and it's a Sasquatch air freshener hanging from their rear view mirror, and if we take our walking route around that house, I think of you every single time, Mark.
I'll be darned.
Every
Jim,
single time I'm like, man, and like I would love to take a picture of it, but I don't want to be that guy. Like if the
What you
guy
need to do
comes
is
out-
start recording around the corner, and when you're walking, look like you're looking at your phone.
That's a good.
Yep.
There you
Oh,
go.
you can do it.
Or just record. It's 2021. Perfectly normal.
What is that? A turd?
No, this is the Bigfoot from the game.
Oh,
It looks
You
kind
stomp
of
around. and it
Charlie.
leaves footprints.
Charlie, you do not owe me a beer. I literally had nothing else to do. It gave me an excuse. Get out of the house and go for a drive on was that Tuesday morning, I believe.
Wait,
Charlie
did you
Charlie
go to
blew a
Roots?
tire. AAA was dragging their feet, and I came to the rescue.
What?
Charlie.
Hold on.
I'm fucking shocked you had a jack.
There's
I'm
one in,
sh-
in my
Blew my
truck.
mind.
I'm shocked you went outside in a pandemic to meet another person. Like, are you feverish?
You've got your superpowers, though, right, Jim?
You know Jim Neeson didn't give no shits about no goddamn
I have my
vaccine.
superpowers,
He's scared of
Charlie.
shit.
Charlie has his superpowers.
Right, them together, they're Captain kind of.
Captain Planet.
Captain
Hey, man,
Plandemic.
I've been playing some golf lately. I've been making my way outside.
I can see.
sun's
Look at those.
bright.
Look at those guns. They're getting tan.
The sun's bright. Did you
Wrong
know that?
side. You got to show the guns the other way.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
was,
the
I was
tan
thinking
is.
this, not flex, but that's fine.
Now, was Charlie on his way to Roots Market? Does anybody know?
No, he wasn't. He was on his way to work and blew a tire on up on 222, and so I
The
came to the
deuce.
rescue. But you know,
You're a good friend, Jim.
an excuse to give me a drive, and I got Taco Bell on my way home for lunch, so
Yo quiero.
it worked out. It worked out for everybody.
Which meal was
That's
that? Was
perfect.
that first meal?
Actually, Tuesday that was first meal.
Nice.
That was first meal.
You
and
either want Taco Bell fourth meal or first meal.
Yeah. It and I took full advantage of first meal.
Gives
I
you
would be fine eating Taco Bell 2 through 4. I mean, the
Oh.
next day ain't gonna feel good, but I'd eat it.
Oh yeah, I'm not as scared of eating Taco Bell at any and all meals, quite frank.
So I'm going to talk about being an adult for a second.
Oh yeah, do that.
So let me tell you something that has helped me out tremendously in the guttural region.
Okay.
Taking vitamins.
Vitamins.
I'm an old man now, and I take multivitamins.
You take vitamins.
Vitamins. Vita Vita Vegemin.
Mm.
I take that.
Are they
And-
Hulk Hogan vitamins?
Yes. I just chew up the brother. But yeah, I take my multivitamin and my omega-3s, and boy, bathroom time is so much more enjoyable now.
I mean, it's
Is it the fiber in it, I assume?
I guess. I don't know, but it's
I mean, I
nice.
take a fiber supplement because I'm an old man.
I don't do any of those.
We're just gonna
things.
be
Oh.
next time we meet, Ryan. We just need to just
We'll compare
we're
bottles.
just gonna we're just gonna we're gonna come together with a bottle of what's the jank
If
called?
you're happy and you know it, take your pills.
Metamucil.
Clank, clank, yeah,
Or
yeah.
it's all-
Put a little vodka in there, you're fine. It's like
Yeah.
a little screwdriver.
There you go.
Boy, I don't take anything either, Jim. I feel young again.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it would probably be like beneficial, not even from like a bathroom standpoint. I mean, it would probably be a healthy thing to do, but I don't know. I just I never have. Except when I was a kid and I took the little Flintstone chewables.
Ah, the Flintstones.
Oh,
10 million strong.
But think when you
and
stopped
growing.
when you stopped taking them, Jim. Life was really downhill for you after that, wasn't it?
I mean,
I
yeah.
mean, really?
So
there wasn't a pandemic when I took Flintstone vitamins.
So you just need to start taking them again.
What did you weigh back then?
A lot less than I do now.
See, thank you. Look at those vitamins.
I had more hair.
How much hair did you have? Yeah,
I had more hair. Dude, it really did. It really all went to shit after I stopped taking Flintstone vitamins.
Have you
They still make them.
Have you had a Flintstone vitamin recently?
No, they're probably
Oh.
it's probably chalky.
It's not good.
Gritty.
But also anything that's good for you has to taste like crap, right? That's
100%.
Yeah, like to me, if it's good for you, it has to be bad. Like it's gotta taste bad, it's gotta feel bad, it's gotta look like
Right. It's the scale. Like if it's bad for you,
Like
great.
Like the shots hurt like the Dickens.
Yeah, fuck me up, man. Day 2 fucked me up.
I
hard.
did now. I'll say I'm a week today removed from my second shot of superpowers.
Oh, you don't have your superpowers yet.
They're not fully online. The reboot is still happening.
Okay, you're still rebooting.
I'm still rebooting, but I didn't get sick at all.
Really?
Nothing.
I hate to say this. You look like somebody that would get a little sick from it.
I have a super duper immune system.
Really? It's the vitamins, probably.
I always thought I did too.
I had
but
I had my wisdom teeth taken out when I was younger, like in my 20s. And my appointment was at like 8 a.m. And by 8 p.m., I was not bleeding anymore and I had no pain.
Wow.
Yeah. Like 12 hours.
I started waking up when they were removing my fourth one.
Oh, no.
Oh.
So they hit me again with more sleepy stuff. And then I was loopy for the rest of the day.
I bet that was fun.
That was fun. There was like a little threshold like between carpet and the linoleum at the office where the lady just told me to watch my step. And I like high kicked over it so I wouldn't trip. And then I
never had mine out. Mine grew in. I have my wisdom teeth.
Oh, yours are in there.
And that's why you're the host.
Yeah, that's why I'm the Charlie. Hang on to that thought. We will talk about Dark
Who's got
Side
more teeth?
And Nick Gage from.
Yeah, let's get back on track. This isn't a way to get out of here early. Devin's got shit to do tonight. He said.
Poker night.
But we're all doing well. Hope you're doing well again. If you
on this day, come on, Jim.
Video, give it a like and a share. Let's get this thing started. Of course, we're looking at May the 20th in pro wrestling history. 3 birthdays. We have the Road Dogg, Danielle Camella, of course, also known as Vanessa born in 1993. Road Dogg born in 1969. And Akam, formerly of the Authors of Pain, also born today in 1993.
Hold on. Yeah. Did she get fired on her birthday?
But day before.
Oh God, that's
day before. Day before. Yeah, she was let go yesterday. Birthday today. So hey, yesterday bad day. Birthday, you're starting fresh.
Yes, sir.
Well, she doesn't have to go to work on her birthday.
What's that, Mark?
She doesn't have to go to work on her birthday now, so there's
That's
that.
true. Well, I don't think she was going to work before then either, but that's beside the point. 1985 WWF returned to Madison Square Garden in New York City for a card televised on the MSG network. It was featured on that show was Rocky Johnson's final match at MSG where he pinned Rene Goulet. 2001, WWF held their 3rd annual Judgment Day pay-per-view from the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California in front of 13,623 fans. The show had 405,000 pay-per-view buys. 2 matches on Sunday Night Heat, 7 main card matches, and Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated The Undertaker in a no-holds-barred match to retain the WWF Championship in the main event. 2002, NWA TNA announced they had signed AJ Styles to a 1-year deal. The company also signed Hardcore Midgets Puppet and Tio to deals and announced that Ed Ferrara and Don West would be working on the announce team for their weekly Wednesday night pay-per-view events. In 2007, WWE held their 9th annual Judgment Day pay-per-view from the Scott Trade Center in St. Louis, Missouri, in front of 10,500 fans. The show had 242,000 pay-per-view buys. There was 1 dark match, 8 main card matches, and John Cena defeated the Great Khali by submission to retain the WWE Championship in the main event. William Regal, the reigning king of the ring, was in 2008 suspended for 60 days for his second infraction of the WWE wellness policy. The suspension would also mark the last truly sustained push Regal received in the company. 2011, WWE Hall of Famer and pro wrestling icon Macho Man Randy Savage passed away at the age of 58 after suffering a heart attack while driving with his wife in Seminole, Florida. 2012, WWE held their Over the Limit pay-per-view from the PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina, in front of 8,000 fans. The show had 167,000 pay-per-view buys. The show featured one pre-show match, 9 main card matches in the main event. John Laurinaitis defeated John Cena in a no DQ match to save his job when Big Show, turning heel, knocked out Cena with the WMD. 2015 NXT TakeOver Unstoppable took place in Full Sail in Winter Park, Florida, in front of 400-plus sellout fans. The show featured one dark match, 5 main card matches in the main event for the NXT Championship. Kevin Owens as the NXT champion, and Sami Zayn ended in a no contest. And finally, in 2017, NXT TakeOver Chicago took place in the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. The show featured 3 matches taped for a future NXT episode, 5 main card matches in the main event. The Authors of Pain defeated DIY in a ladder match to retain the NXT Tag Team titles. Those are the events that occurred May the 20th in pro wrestling history. All right, boys, before we get to our Wrestler of the Week nominations, now Ryan and I did a full review of WrestleMania Backlash on Tuesday. So if you want the long form review, you can go back and listen to that, a podcast feed, YouTube, and Facebook and Twitter as well. But Mark, Tim, you guys obviously weren't with us on Tuesday afternoon. If you want to give any thoughts on the event that was, and then there was kind of a topic that we had kind of spun up during that show, Ryan and I, and we'll hit that before we close out WrestleMania Backlash as a whole. So Tim, do you want to give any thoughts on the event that was? Tim, you're muted there, big guy.
Absolutely muted, and that is perfectly acceptable and fine and good. To me, it was a 2-match show. And it's all SmackDown. It was literally just SmackDown. The SmackDown women's title, and of course the main event, made up for the rest of the card. Okay. Very unfortunate to hear that the King of Safe Style himself, The Miz, got eaten by zombies. We wish him the best. And really, that's it. Like,
it could be worse. I mean, if you had to be stuck at home with a torn ACL, at least he's got Maurice.
By the time he's done, he will have made and birthed a new child.
Yeah, probably. What else has he got to do? What else?
No, he just got his deal snipped.
That's right. It was the vasectomy episode.
Yeah, his V-Day.
Well, then he can just.
Oh God, he can
just whenever, wherever.
He's at the firing range, just shooting. He's just
Good
out.
for him. Good for him. Yeah, like I said, you got Maurice. I think he'll be okay.
Target practice.
Hopefully it's a short-term injury, a partial tear, not a full tear. Mark, any thoughts on WrestleMania?
I feel like on a vasectomy, Jim, it's always a full tear.
No, but the leg injury.
Oh,
yeah. No,
right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. No, Mark. Any thoughts on WrestleMania Backlash?
Well, yeah, I agree with Tim. It was a 2-match show. It was tough to watch. That whole zombie thing. Did I miss something? Why were there zombies?
You missed everything, Mark.
Because Batista's in a movie, and the movie paid a lot of money to WWE to advertise on that show.
Yeah, like, did you know that WrestleMania Backlash was brought to you by Army of the Dead, featuring WWE legend Dave Bautista and directed by Wes Craven, available in theaters and on Netflix?
I didn't know that until Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern
All right,
time.
we're throwing around legend pretty fucking loosely.
That's what they said. I'm quoting. They said
he's a future Hall of
WWE
Famer.
legend.
Yeah.
I thought Wes Craven died. I guess not.
I
if
don't
he's,
think
if
Wes
he's-
Craven's
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Wes Craven Jr.
I mean, if you didn't know that it was the name of the movie, they blatantly displayed it behind Adnan Virk, Corey Graves, and B-Sax, because that's his name now. Byron Saxton and Damian Priest apparently is a part of the Army of the Dead, because after he murdered the Miz, he got out of the ring and he shot his little bow and arrow deal into the sky, and it didn't say his name. It said Army of the Dead. Because you know what? You know what him and zombies have in common?
No. What do they have in common?
They live forever.
Ah, that would be it. That would be it.
Until you stab him in the head.
Right. I mean, yeah, you gotta do something. I think Woody Harrelson was in a movie that taught you how to
double tap, cardio.
What's that? Was it Zombieland? Is that what
Zombieland,
the-
Zombieland 2. Those were pretty fun movies. Yeah, I mean the second half of the show, and like we talked about on Tuesday, if you're basically gonna split a show in half, and give me the worst part first. Let me finish on a high as opposed to like starting here and just falling off a cliff. But yeah, I mean it wasn't their best showing. I mean my grade for this show came out to a C- because
That's a big wow. That's
I had
still
a full,
shocking.
I had a full on 0.
Wow.
For the zombie match.
I don't have a 0 for the zombie match.
It better be a fucking negative then.
No.
Those rules apply. You could have done negative 50, Jim.
You could have.
I didn't know
But,
we
like,
could do negative points.
I'll allow it.
I'm not
For that
super,
match?
like while I do keep my fandom separated, and I don't believe in I believe wrestling is more rooted in reality than The Walking Dead is. So I don't want The Walking Dead showing up at my wrestling show. But also, I don't think it's 0, and I don't think it's outrageable. Like,
I mean, here's the deal.
It's pretty fucking outrageable.
I mean, like, here's the deal. I hated it. I thought it was stupid. It definitely wasn't for me. Like I said, there was a guy on the Twitter who said his 8-year-old fucking loved it. Absolutely loved it. So
I'd
like,
put a pillow right over his fucking face.
turn him into a zombie, right?
No, just to stop him for a second.
But like, I'm
Tim,
not
come on.
I'm not the guy. Like, I'm not the person that's like, worst thing they've ever done, set the business, but like, I'm not going to that level. It didn't ruin the show for me. But like, I hated it. I hated it.
So
Yeah, but it did
And
ruin
it
the
hurt
show
the
a
Miz.
bit.
And it hurt the Miz. No, but it didn't ruin the night for me. Especially when
The main event is on your match of the year
correct
list, mine as well, and we both ranked it like a high C+. So like, it definitely hurt the show.
it hurt the overall show, but it didn't ruin the night for me.
Okay.
Like, you know, LaGreca blew the seventh vein in his forehead.
Yes, he did.
He's working. Get over it.
Of course he is. He absolutely is. I get it. And like, I don't believe for 1 second he actually stopped watching that show because he gets paid to talk about it the next
Did he
morning.
say he stopped watching it?
He claimed to.
He said he turned it off as soon as.
But I don't believe that for 1 damn second because he's playing a character. So whatever.
Here's the deal. It was embarrassing. I think it is. I was more, like I said on Tuesday, I was more disappointed that the WWE went that route and fully committed to having one of their matches gimmicked to that level.
See, to me, this is on par with Rey Mysterio getting his eye popped out. Like, it is on that level.
Fair.
It's something that is so bad, the WWE will never do it again.
Which is awesome. Like, if it's gonna be bad, let it be that bad.
And my biggest problem with it is the fact that, like, they teased that they ate the Miz and Morrison. That's like, I'm cool with the zombies until they start eating people.
But like,
and then like, what's the point?
The zombies respected the sanctity of the match. Like, they didn't interfere in the match. They couldn't figure out how to climb into the ring, being flesh-hungry zombies.
Yes.
Ryan, they were
until the
lumberjack.
bell rang.
But also,
and then they were like, "Oh, you just climb up." The bell made it make sense.
But also,
like, they're fucking zombies. If they're going to just go and get you, they're going to go and get you.
In real wrestling, when there's two people in the ring and it's not an actual match and there's like an interview segment and two people are fighting and then one person runs away, the invisible force field known as the shock fence that's around the ring stops anyone from going outside to go get himself or herself some of whoever just wronged them in the ring. So per wrestling logic, it makes sense. Like,
I suppose.
Yeah. The whole thing sucked though.
Real bad.
And Damian Priest is never going to be able to do that spinny deal off the top rope ever again.
Sure not. When you injure like a guy who's injured nobody
and never been hurt.
Never been hurt. You killed the unkillable.
King of safe style.
Yeah.
The only other person, the only
part
other,
of that whole promo with Daniel Bryan was about that very thing.
Yeah, like the only other person who has hurt the Miz that way.
His dad taking Dolph fishing that one time.
That too. AJ Styles popping one of Miz's teeth out.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst injury he's ever had.
And that's because AJ hits.
Yeah.
Uncle Alan don't care.
No. Uncle Alan's hopped up on that what do they call Coke? Southern Moonshine or something?
Oh, the Confederate Champagne.
Confederate Champagne. He's all hopped up on it, and yeah, I mean, that's the worst injury you've suffered in 15 years.
I thought for a second you were gonna say he was hopped up on the Q, and then I was gonna tell you that doesn't mean what it means anymore.
Yeah, no,
the Q is something else.
Not since what's his face?
Colt 45.
But the only other the topic that we kind of stumbled into and we wanted to put aside till now, and I don't remember how the other half of this, but it was, what's worse, like something like the zombies or something that exposes the business, like the ending of Blood and Guts, where it's you can see cardboard, you see mycrashpad.com and all of that. Like, what's worse, or are they bad in different ways that it's not necessarily comparable?
I think Nicholas was worse.
What's that?
Maybe not. I thought Nicholas was worse, but maybe not now that I think about it a little more. I think I'd rather watch Nicholas come out for another tag match than that zombie thing again.
There we go. Ryan, what would you rather have?
Nicholas makes sense. It's a big guy who doesn't need a tag team partner, who goes and gets a kid and brings him to the ring and wins a championship. Nicholas absolutely makes sense. I would take Nicholas over exposing a crash pad and plexiboard or whatever and the zombies. Absolutely, there it is. Nicholas is now the number 3.
the third worst thing that's ever happened, according to Ryan.
So what's the other thing?
No, it wasn't even. It's not even a 1, 2, 3 thing. It really isn't. The question was, what is worse for the business of wrestling? Something over the top gimmicky, like having zombies as your lumberjacks, or something that actually exposes some of the secrets of pro wrestling, like showing like the cardboard which Jericho fell through into crash pads, like seeing the crash pad from 32 when Shane McMahon fell off the Hell in a Cell. Like, that exposes some of the secrets of the business. What's worse?
Oh,
I thought it was a fairly good question.
It is a good question, and I think that's why I'm so hesitant to Like
maybe that should just be our question of the week next week.
go in a direction.
Let us think about it.
Do we want to do that? Do we want to make that the question next week?
Unless you have a question.
I don't have one planned for next week.
Yeah, I think that works because
Okay.
right now, like, I feel like I could ask myself this question every day for the next week, and I may have a different answer.
Here's the
every
deal:
day.
my answer has changed like twice already.
Yeah, like because I'll think about it, and it's like it's
one's goofy and silly, but everybody knows it's kind of fake and it's a really question of the week.
It's the trolley car. I refer to a lot of things going back to like The Good Place, but like they talk about ethics a lot, and there's a trolley car scenario where you're in a trolley car and the track splits off into two and you're in control. At the end of one lane is one person you know, and the other is 10 people you don't. You cannot stop the car, and you have to choose which direction you go. You're going to kill one of the two groups. So do you choose to kill the person you know and save 10 people's lives, or do you kill the 10 people you don't know and save the person you know?
Man,
ethics. And it's like, and there's
is that from a show?
Yeah, well, it was explained in The Good Place, but it is also like an actual ethics, morality.
Yeah. So, like, if one would answer that you would kill the 10 people you don't know, would that make you like a worse person?
Like
I think it's just how you look at it. And
you're
here's the deal,
choosing to kill 10 people.
You may not like the person that you know, correct? Like it's just somebody you know.
Right.
Like it could be an old high school teacher.
Or like the douchebag that works at the Blockbuster Video. You know, like
he didn't abscond me of all my fees because I didn't rewind.
Oh man, yeah, that's a tricky question.
Yeah,
that's a freaking.
I am mowing those 10 people down every fucking day. Don't even have to think about it.
Right, it's like without question. Sorry, 10 people I don't know.
100%.
Don't even give a shit. 100% all the time.
If you think about that person we know could be big BBJ, and that would be trouble.
That would be awful.
That would.
Although she could probably take a trolley shot.
Yeah, I bet she could. She'd be all right. The trolley would come back totaled.
Wow.
Whoa.
The trolley would come back totaled.
Oh, God.
And again,
do you guys
I wouldn't mind rear end? Well, never mind.
Do you guys have a grade for WrestleMania Backlash? I had it at
You can just call it Backlash. We can fucking get it.
No, it was WrestleMania Backlash.
I know what it was called.
Did you know that it was the first pay-per-view ever not named WrestleMania to have WrestleMania in the name?
Was it really?
I want
Thanks,
I want
Adnan Burke.
to be WrestleMania Hell in a Cell in the worst way, just for Ryan. I gave it a C-. Devin said he gave it a D.
Good job, Devin.
Tim, what did you give?
Was it a big D, Devin, or just a regular D?
There's only one big D.
Just
a little D.
There's only one big D around these parts.
Like a D kindergartner would write.
I am gonna give it a B.
Okay.
Because I think that the two matches that the card was based around are like very high A's. And I did not care for the tag title match. What was the open? I don't even remember what the open was. Oh, the open triple threat.
Yeah.
You know, Asuka and Charlotte did great.
Thank you. You're right.
Yeah.
She couldn't buy freaking chemistry with either of those
The
two
magic
right now.
is gone. Like Rhea Ripley is not the same girl, not the same performer she was last WrestleMania.
No, and it's
sad.
The ripples have subsided.
Like, is it just a main roster thing? Is it an overproduced thing? Like, I don't.
Who knows?
I
think
don't
it
know
might
what
be.
it
I think it might be an overproduced thing, but
yeah, which sucks because she was great at one point. We've seen it. We know it. Ryan, what did you get? I don't even remember what you gave it.
I did the math thing like you had done, and I graded each match That's how I got the C+.
C+. And in turn, Mark.
Well, I really want to give it a D.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Like, hi, boys. I'd really like to give a D, but I might have to settle for a C because I did enjoy the main event.
All right, I give it a C- then.
If Matt were here, what would Matt grade it?
F.
I think Matt would be fine giving this. Oh man,
I don't think
he didn't. I don't think he even loved the
No, I
main
don't
event
think
like
he,
we
I don't
did.
think he would give it an F. I would say.
Well, Sasha Banks wasn't in it, so obviously he didn't care.
Yeah, this is an F+ maybe.
I would say I'd say D+. I bet he would give it a D+. I'm gonna message our group and ask him that, and whenever his new phones come online and he gets it, I'll see what he says.
Nice.
Let's see what.
So nice.
Lucky out there getting that purple eye.
Well, I guess while you're texting, I think we can get into the Wrestler of the Week discussions.
Well, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Since John Moxley and Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These five guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. 3 Count Thursday brings to you the Wrestler on the Week.
So Matt,
what
Yeah, I think I just saw that. I can't
Matt
believe it.
gave the show a B.
Yeah,
a
Was
B.
that a typo?
Yeah.
So I officially, I think I
Okay,
gave the
his
show
phone
the
might
worst-
still be acting up.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's still.
I gave the show the worst grade.
Yeah, you
wow,
did.
that's
for you,
new. We've broached new territory.
Welcome
Big Jim's-
to
Big
AEW
Jim's a scary-
WrestleMania Backlash.
Big Jim's a scaredy pants and is afraid of zombies, and that's what it was.
I am.
That's fair.
No,
That's fair.
I didn't sleep well.
Doesn't like the haunted house.
All right. Does anybody want to start
You
us
know,
off?
I'm so proud of myself. I did all my homework before the show. I'd love to start.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
Go
have
ahead.
them written
ahead,
down. I
Smokey.
think I was the last one to actually send it in the group chat, though.
I think you were, but that's okay. That's all right.
So
Go
my
ahead.
first one, you have to go back to WrestleMania Backlash many days ago, for my number one pick. That is Roman Reigns. I don't think Roman Reigns has ever looked tougher in his defeat of Cesaro. I think we did see some cracks maybe in Roman's game, but for Roman to still overcome them and win by a technical knockout or submission, I forget exactly how they determined it.
It's listed as technical submission.
A technical submission
on
of
Wikipedia.
Cesaro. You got to trust Wikipedia. He is absolutely number one. Just what a beast. Number two, to keep with the theme of like, if you win a championship, you should probably end up on this list, unless you're the Mysterios. Is Bronson Reed from NXT when he beat John Gargano. What an amazing match that was. I think that was I think we've seen Reed kind of coming out of his shell here recently. So it was really, really good to see Bronson Reed be able to beat Johnny Gargano, picking up the North American Championship, a championship that Johnny Gargano held for 163 days. You'd have to go back to TakeOver War Games, actually. TakeOver War Games when Johnny Gargano...
War Games! War Games! War Games!
Yeah, so that is where he had it. That match back at War Games.
In War Games! War Games! War Games! War Games!
I'm sorry. It was a triple threat match with Leon Ruff and Damian Priest. That's when Johnny Gargano won it again. That was a 163-day reign for the North American Championship. There was something, Tim, how was it? There was War Games.
In War Games! War Games! War Games! War Games!
I said it wrong again.
You flip them, I think.
No, that wasn't right. WG work.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember WG.
Was it Game Wars?
Games! War Games! War Games! War Games!
So we have front and back covered, huh? Shit.
Wasn't that a Black Sabbath song? War Games.
He said it again.
War games! War games! War games!
That sounds like Ozzy.
Please
I
stop.
feel like it was War Pigs.
War Pigs. That was
War Pigs!
Yeah.
War Pigs! War Pigs! War Pigs!
You might as well mark
War
that down
Pigs.
as a sound grab for us, Jim. I'll say War Pigs every fucking week to hear Tim say that.
Wrestlers gathered in their masses.
So stupid. It's Cesaro.
Okay, I'm sorry. We
Oh boy.
well, we can move on.
Cesaro is my number 3. I've never seen somebody establish themselves in defeat as much as Cesaro did. I think his stock rose even in a loss because we did see Cesaro maybe break away a little bit at some of the armor that is Roman Reigns in what was an absolute banger of a match. Is on my match of the year. Excuse me. A list for at the end of the year.
You're getting choked up.
I'm choking a little bit. I am.
I know it's an emotional.
It
an
really
emotional
is.
situation.
Boy. Ryan hasn't been that choked up since the War Games match last year.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
Mark, you can't say it that way. You have to say Game Wars so Jim doesn't play the clip.
War games! War games! War games!
Tim, you want to go next?
Tim, I've been sitting on that the entire show. I knew it was coming. We talked about this on the Tuesday show, right in the middle of the show, knowing you wouldn't watch it. So it was
set up. It was out in the open the whole time.
Tim won't watch.
Poor Tim.
Tim won't watch or listen to this. We could talk about this with the people right now.
You remember the part in the podcast at the beginning of the show where I said that I loved you guys?
Uh-oh. That didn't take long.
Oh.
We're on a break, Tim.
Oh, we're on a permanent hiatus is what we're on.
No.
So my big 3, it's very much the same across the board. Number 1, obviously, the big dog, the head of the table, the ooh-ah man, Mr. Ooh-ah-ah, the head of the end-all be-all.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. Number 2, big thick boy, Bronson Reed doing the thing. Where I differ.
Real big dude.
This is a real big dude. My number 3, anyone who beats Randy Orton and the WWE champion on the same night gets some top billing. And I'm sorry, Rey Mysterio, you rekindling some old magic of being the underdog who can beat up everybody. It got snuffed out by Kofi Mania again. Kofi Kingston being my number 3 selection.
Intern Mark, you want to give yours? You want me to give mine?
Well, I'll go because I remember them right now.
Good.
I might
Yeah, let's
forget
roll
in
with
a
that.
couple minutes.
I don't want to make Tim any madder.
Poor Tim, he's upset. We might get back together yet.
We might.
So number 1, I had that large dog, Roman Reigns, for all the reasons you boys spoke of. I think he's reaching the peak of his career here. He's making it happen. I'm liking it a lot. The head of the table. And then at number 2, I had Charles Bronson or Robert Reed, Bronson Reed. I'll be honest with you, I was not a fan of his until this match, and that made me like him even more. I thought he put on a great show, great match. I officially like Bronson Reed. I like him.
Good.
And third, I have Cesaro. Yeah, I thought like Smokey was saying, Cesaro come in even in losing, it raised the stock. Kind of like when Johnny Gargano won that NXT North American title at War Games 168 days ago.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
just pulled up the screen, and the picture of Shane McMahon popped me.
It's so good.
Ridiculous.
Like I occasionally look over and I just see it, and I'm like, that.
Can I give Matt's picks really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so Matt's picks. Keep watching the screen, boys. It's really funny. So Matt's picks.
Shit, I just lost it. Hold on.
Go back.
I'm going back. I'm
So-
not good at this.
Full screen.
Full screen. So Matt took Roman Reigns at first, Bronson Reed second, and of course Kofi Kingston third. Not much variety this week in the regards of the picks of the week, but
I thought we were going to gimmick his picks to say Sasha Banks 1, 2, and 3, but that's cool.
no, but it was more just to get a full-sized picture of.
So great! What an awful picture of him.
Like, let's just break down him. I wonder if I can get like I can't put my cursor on it, but
I love that it says Matt and his Twitter account.
yeah, this is absolutely him.
100% Matt. It looks just like him.
Yeah,
Looks just like him. After reading Dominoes.
yeah. Oh,
Man, it's definitely what I look like after eating Dominoes. Hell, let's be honest. It's what I look like after eating a salad. I mean, it just doesn't matter. I put anything in this body and it just sweaty, bloated. My three.
So dumb.
Number one, Roman Reigns. That one's pretty easy. Number two, Bronson Reed. Yeah, you beat a guy who hasn't lost that title since a certain match at a certain show 168 days ago. And number three, I'm with Tim, Kofi Kingston. Yeah, you pin Randy Orton and Mr. Lashley on the same night. That's you're doing pretty good for yourself, and you're kind of right back in because like I feel like if you would have asked the question, is Kofi can he get back into the main event picture, or will he? The answer probably would have been no. And then in one show, you feel like he's right there. So Kofi Kingston definitely is number three on my list as well. So Tim, where does that leave us for the week and for the year so far?
So as we go into week 6, wrestler of the week this week, first time so far having a unanimous first place vote is Roman Reigns, earning all 25 of 25 points. Second, earning as many second place votes as you can get, Bronson Reed at 15 points. And then because we split the baby, Kofi Kingston is third and Cesaro is fourth. And that's literally everyone we voted for this week. With the Wrestler of the Year standings, it is exactly the same as it was last week, except Roman Reigns has now jumped ahead another 10 points. So with 27 points on the year so far, Roman Reigns, second place with all 10s. We've got Miro, Bianca Belair, Kenny Omega, and Cool Cow.
Oh shit, where is it?
Where is it?
Auto Parts.
And Cesaro slowly creeping up, adding another point to his total, now getting up to 9. So the top 6 still right where they were, but Roman Reigns is starting to take a very, very early lead.
I love that.
Nice if O'Reilly would sponsor the show.
Freaking love that, but it would be nice. It would be nice, but that's it for this week's Wrestler of the Week standings.
Since John Moxley, Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These 5 guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. Come Thursday, brings to you the Wrestler on the Week.
We're not going to go right in to question of the week this week. We're kind of at the halfway point. So let's pause here. Let's hear from our sponsors. Let's hear from our networks. And when we come back, we'll have question of the week. We'll have a few other topics. We'll get to the news and much more. Stick with us. 3 Count Thursday live.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
3 Count Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis on all things sports. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, subscribe to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports, and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Are you looking for a place to listen to your favorite music and sports? Look no further. WLSN, the Lieb Sports and Music Network, is a web-based music and sports network. Our network was created to provide authentic, high-energy entertainment through live streaming to a national audience. We play popular music while hosting podcasts from all over the world. Curious? Check us out on the web at liebsports.com. That's LEEIB sports.com. Or find us on the TuneIn Radio app. Got Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play WLSN on TuneIn. WLSN is America's #1 blog-themed sports and music network.
Welcome back, 3 Count Thursday, May the 20th, 2021, facebook.com/3 Count Thursday. And make sure you're subscribed to our show, all podcast platforms, Google Play, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast. Basically, if you can find a podcatcher that we're not on, let us know. We'll make sure it's up there, but I'm pretty sure we're on all of them. And you can subscribe to us on YouTube, all the podcasts, and go to 3countthursday.com. Check out our networks. And we have a, hold on, I got to, not that. We have the 3 count question of the week this week. And I honestly wish I could tell you where this question came from, but I have no clue. It came to me. I wrote it down and I don't really remember where it came from, but here it is. If you were starting a brand new Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, not a WWE Hall of Fame, not any other possibly existing Hall of Fame, if you were starting a brand new one, who would your 5 first inductees be? Let's call it the first class. 5 inductees, first class of a brand new Wrestling Hall of Fame. Does anybody want to start us off?
This is for 2021. If you're starting a Hall of Fame class.
If you've built from the ground up, you found a building, and
so we are beating the WWE to a brick and mortar Hall of Fame.
Sure, 100%. Is there any actual physical building Wrestling Hall of Fames?
I feel like they're
is it all just
the
like
Cauliflower Alley?
Cauliflower
Club?
Alley might be one.
Yeah, I thought they had one somewhere.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then isn't there a guy in Lidditz that has a little like Hall of Fame thing in his house?
Joey
Oh
Wells?
No, never mind. That's something totally different.
It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Is that what it is? That's okay.
Yeah,
it moved
Joey
from
Wells.
It moved from Canton
Comets
to Lidditz. That's what it was.
Yeah. But does anybody want to start us
Yeah,
off?
I'll go. I've got. I hope you have sound effects queued up for all of these because I made them all sound effect worthy.
Okay. Go ahead.
Number 1 wrestler, The Undertaker. Love that sound effect. And the rest are just horseshit because I didn't know what else we had. So Chris Jericho.
Stupid idiot.
Otis.
Find one.
Oh, yes.
The Red Scorpion.
And now it's early, Reagan.
And Kyle O'Reilly.
sports.
Oh boy.
Thank you for that, Ryan.
Oh, and the special rule: Bret Hart can't enter my Hall of Fame.
I'll be darned.
There's no ramps for him to roll up.
Oh, come on. Not cool.
Come on, man.
All right, I'll let him roll in, but I'll take the ramp away, and he has to bounce down.
Sheesh. Yikes.
It's only like 4 steps. They're concrete. He'd
So
survive.
hurtful.
Yeah.
He's going to get a concussion.
Again. Yep. All right. Who's next?
Tim, Mark?
You know, I'll go next.
Good luck beating mine.
So I'm actually going to cheat a little.
Okay.
And I'm actually not going to pick like a full wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm going to create the first ever Ring of Honor Hall of Fame.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
So my first 5 inductees would be Kerry Silken, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, Christopher Daniels, and the Briscoe brothers.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's a good one. I like that. I forgot I actually had a Daniel Bryan sounder.
Fickle.
Yeah, no, I like that one.
Because I feel like if you're doing like a regular wrestling Hall of Fame, like everyone's gonna pick the same like
Right, like
Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Vince McMahon.
Oh, I didn't have Vince. Get my other 2, and I won't even have to say them.
Bret Hart.
No, Bret didn't make my 5.
Bret ain't making his top 5.
Jeez. Is
But
one
who
of
did
them
we
a
say
tag?
so far?
Is one a tag team?
No, all
So,
singles.
he
You
said
had Hulk,
Hogan-
Rick, and Andre.
Hulk, Rick, Andre,
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, and
Yep, that's 4.
John Cena.
And
Nope.
You put a woman in China.
I did not. I did not.
China.
China. There it is.
What? Give me a hint.
What
Same
country
era
was it?
as Austin. Probably his biggest foil.
The Rock.
The Rock. There's my 5.
Oh, cool. Mark, what about you?
China. I had
This
I had-
this is for the MPWA Hall of Fame, right?
this is the MPWA Hall of Fame. Now this is for the LCW Hall of Fame.
Not
I
the
also
same
had
difference.
the actually I didn't have the Red Scorpion, but now you mentioned that, it sounds like a good idea. If I did local, I'd probably do the Red Scorpion, and Andy Weinberg would be in there, and probably Laszlo. But someone with a little more national or world, if you will, world known. And his birthday was just yesterday. I went with Andre the Unbelievable Giant. They called him the 8th wonder of the world. And then I went with one of the best talkers in the business. And the creator of that match was big in the NWA War Games, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
Mark, you have to say it backwards, dude.
Game
Jim
Wars.
You're goddamn team! War games! War games! War games!
They call him the American Dream, baby. But I had
Jim, you sound like that cartoon dog.
he sounds like Muttley.
Laughing.
That's
that
Muttley
his
the
name,
dog. He
Muttley?
just his name's Muttley.
You would know that.
And it's Snidely Whiplash's sidekick, I think, is the master, if you will, the brains. And Muttley wore a scarf. Didn't he have a scarf, a red scarf on him?
Sure.
Is Muttley in your Hall of Fame?
He should be, but he didn't make the cut. I have Matilda in there instead.
The red scarf. I just keep seeing the red scorpion like in drag with the scarf.
The scarf, the red scorpion.
So I think you gave 2 so far, Mark.
Yeah, I had Andre the Giant. He was never in a War Games match that I know of. Dusty Rhodes.
Stop.
Will you stop?
And I have, of course, you got to have Hulk Hogan in there. And I had Bruno San Martino, the living legend. Well, used to be the living legend. And Ric Flair would be my pick.
Good. Can we let's see if we can figure out who Matt.
You know, Ric Flair was in a lot of those matches.
Stop.
The 60-minute Broadway matches I'm talking about. They give the time.
He was in a lot of those. He wasn't a lot of.
Yeah.
I think Matt would have he'd have Shane McMahon, right? I mean, we know that'd be his number 1.
Shawn Michaels.
No, I don't. Matt, I never heard Matt talk about Shawn Michaels much. He would have Shane. I know he would have Nikki Bella.
Natalia
would be
Natalia for sure.
Third.
Actually, probably Natalia and Tamina. That as a tag team, he would probably put them
they'll
in.
go in together.
Okay.
So
You'd argue they go in together.
Yeah, they
Sasha
would go in
Banks.
together. I mean,
Well, not
Matt-
Sasha. No. He doesn't.
No, certainly not. Matt loves to play hard in the paint. He'd probably have the Usos.
Both Usos for sure.
So that's
big
3.
fan. He's cheating, but we got to let him go. They're
It's
tag
okay. I
teams.
mean, tag teams go in. So
Yeah. Huh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, can we? Would he say Nikki Bella? I mean, I know he doesn't like Brie at all.
At all.
So
It's
Nikki
really
Bella, that would
unfortunate.
be 4. He does love women's wrestling. So I mean, he's got.
It's a little
and
early to
Natalia,
leave
he's got
Marie.
Nikki Bella.
Is it too early for him to put even Marie in there?
Maybe. I mean,
What about what did
he does love Priscilla Kelly.
What did he think about Great Khali says?
Oh,
Great Khali's not an awful choice. Although you could make an argument, she goes in with Natty as like the whole fart brigade.
Maybe. But Tamina
If you're
wasn't
trying to
part of
squeeze
that.
more in.
Would Bret Hart make his
Squeeze it
list?
Oh boy.
Would Bret Hart make the list?
I think Bret would be his 5
Bret
because
might be his 5th.
he really doesn't like Shawn Michaels, and you know, if you look at those two, they're always connected.
Yeah.
So, I think Bret would be his 5. So it's Shane, Natty and Tamina, Nikki Bella,
The Usos.
the Usos, and Bret Hart. Yeah.
Right.
That's,
You know what?
that's-
Maybe not both Usos, just the one that throws the towel.
That's Jimmy, right?
Maybe
is
just Jimmy Uso.
That
Jimmy
is Jimmy.
Uso.
That is definitely Jimmy.
Jay's nobody's bitch, and
Jimmy.
Matt loves that shirt.
No, Jim is nobody's bitch.
Jimmy is nobody's bit. Jay
is the right
man.
hand. Yeah, Jay is Mr. Right Hand.
Huh.
Yeah.
Consider me wrong.
They look alike.
Do they? Are they twins?
No.
Might.
Twinsies. A lot of people think they are, but they're not. They're cousins,
Just cousins.
Yes.
like Patty Duke.
Oh boy.
Like who?
So why? Why did you ask that question?
Shouldn't have that. As soon
Why
as it
did you
came
do
out,
it?
I had to stop. I'm sorry.
That Patty Duke show. Remember that when Patty Duke had a twin
Nobody does.
sister?
I don't know. Did Patty
Then they were
Duke ever
cousins.
make an appearance on the Brady Bunch?
No, but Desi Arnaz Jr. did, and Davy Jones from the Monkees. Remember that one when he
No.
took Marsha to the prom?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh my God, that was. I might have to jump off here. I think Bobby's in trouble.
I think Bobby already jumped off. He's
I
gone.
think
Bobby
Bobby-
already jumped.
Did you guys ever see the episode where Bobby and Cindy got lost in the Grand
but
Canyon?
Bobby,
I know. I
They
watched.
saw
The,
that little Indian boy. They called him.
I watched
His
the.
name was Jimmy.
I watched a follow-up episode where they scraped Bobby off the bottom of the Grand Canyon with a spatula.
The tough one.
Man, I'm glad
Now,
they got to
Cindy,
before the
here's your brother
Coyotes.
Bobby, and there's your brother Bobby, and there's your brother Bobby, and there's your brother Bobby, and over there that coyote's eating part of your brother Bobby.
That's a shame.
That
The
is.
Coyote first went.
It
for,
sounds like
Allison's
it sounds
pork and
like
beans.
something. Bobby falling off the Grand Canyon sounds like something they would try to do with like a tournament of death or something.
It certainly does. It certainly does. But yeah, those
Remember
are.
the,
I like what you tried to do there, Tim. It's just not the order. Unfortunately for tonight, I have a feeling.
Do we change anything?
We'll get to there.
Do we ever do anything in order around here?
I loved the segue there.
The whole damn thing is out of order. But let's.
You know what's really funny about those tournament of deaths? Let's talk about kayfabe, right?
Right. That's where we're gonna go. So this was a discussion. We were trying to get to this last week. We ran out of time, but I think it may somewhat kind of fit together, even with the zombie thing and all of that stuff from this week. But it particularly came from Charlie, friend of the show. Hope he got a new tire for his car. But after the Blood and Guts match, there was Jericho released a podcast like the day after, or the Monday after, or something like that. And it was about how the idea and how the match was put together and all of this. And Charlie brought up the idea of kayfabe and you know, that it basically just, you know, pulls the curtain up by doing a podcast like that. And I think I had responded to him that, I mean, I think it's kind of been dead for a very long time. But even if you tried to even try to have a place in today's wrestling, if you are on social media, if you listen to wrestling podcasts, you know, how isn't that veil lifted by those means anyway? Because wrestlers on social media, with some exceptions like MJF, they don't live the gimmick on social media. You know, like a lot of them even have their regular names, not their superstar, you know, or wrestling names. So does kayfabe have a place in today's wrestling? Should it have a place in today's wrestling? Like how far should it go? Because to me, you know, at 36 years old, I know the deal. I know that it's a show. I know that, you know, that the characters that are being portrayed are not the person that's portraying them. No different than, you know, Elliot Stabler is a character on Law and Order, Organized Crime, and formerly SVU.
Great
so
show.
like,
Love it.
Great show. But those are characters. Like if I meet with Christopher Maloney, I believe is his real name.
Sounds right.
If I meet him on the streets of New York, I'm not. Do I expect Elliot Stabler? You know what I mean? SVU and all of their TV shows. Wrestling's a TV show. So how far do you take the kayfabe line? Should kayfabe exist today?
See, the problem is there needs to be some level of kayfabe, because I feel like at the core of professional wrestling, you need to be able to suspend your believability and enjoy this product. And the reason I say at the core of pro wrestling, because there's not independent Law and Order shows running around locally where you can go and watch a live episode of Warwick Township version of Law and Order at like the community theater.
We just stumbled upon a YouTube series, right?
You know, I don't know why people get so tied up on this with pro wrestling. Kayfabe or not, you need to. I think it's a believability thing, and you need to be able to turn that off. Like you said with the SVU, Robert Downey Jr. is not really dead at the end of Infinity War. Spoiler alert.
Thanks, Brian.
You know, sorry, I ruined it again. Things, you know, but for you to believe pro wrestling, you need to believe in some of it. I enjoy the athleticism. You need to believe champions matter. They're just props. You know, it's, you know, so you have to believe in some things, but I don't think it needs to be kayfabe the way I think the question was presented. Did that make any sense, or am I just speaking in a circle?
Okay. I think so. I think what you're saying is like, you need to believe in the characters. You need to believe in like a strength of a performer, but I don't think you necessarily need to believe.
But you know it's a work. Like everybody knows it's a work.
You don't need to believe that Mark from Texas is really a dead guy.
Correct.
Like, you know, he's playing a character, but like,
so then what's the problem for Mark from Texas to step off and be like, this was a really good show? Or Chris from Winnipeg saying like, this is how we put this match together.
Yeah, I mean,
because once you know it's a work, kayfabe's dead. The heart and soul of it. But you need to suspend that while you choose to enjoy it. Hundreds and thousands and millions of people do it for television all the time. There's not many reality shows out there other than 90 Day Fiance.
That's real.
That is
a real person,
right? Like you when you tune into an Iron Man movie, you need to believe in Iron Man.
Correct.
You know that he is not like Tony Stark is a character, and Iron Man is a character, so that has to be believed.
I don't know anything about that, but sure.
I mean, you did bring it up.
Brought what up?
Starks.
Iron Man.
Ricky Starks.
Ricky.
So that's that AEW guy, right, Mark?
That was
guy.
Zoe Starks.
Zoe Starks. Yes, Tim.
Zoe, not Ricky. Ricky Skaggs.
Yes, Tim.
I don't really
Save
have
us,
anything.
Tim Taylor.
I will try.
Hey.
We'll try here.
Yeah.
Yeah, kayfabe is like totally dead. But I feel like there's room for something like kayfabe. Like, it may not be exactly like, we don't know what is, like, we know the real life stuff, but now it's more of like, kayfabe is now controlling what you post and like what gets out about yourself, and kind of leaning into that side of you, where before nobody was supposed to know who you are, and now you get to tell people who you are explicitly, like what and what. Now, the other side of that coin is obviously like, if people actually know you and the truth that you try to tell is different from the truth that other people know, then you run into issues, or not issues, but situations like speaking out, and you run into things like that where you create this effigy of yourself that's super pristine and clean and great, and then somebody else knows the real you and like, he's cheap and he doesn't tip, or like whatever, like that's so
Jay will tell you that about Ryan.
yeah. And so I think that there's room for something like it, but we'll never be able to put toothpaste back in the tube. And
let me be honest, I really think kayfabe is important at an independent wrestling show when the boys are like warming up in the ring and the promoter's like, hey guys, kayfabe, let's go. We're opening doors in 5.
Sure.
Because those are like the young fans that are coming to indie wrestling shows that still have that glimmer of like, this is real. And that's the part of like the fandom that we need to hook to ensure that there are fans 10 years, 15 years down the road to continue professional wrestling.
We've seen that.
That's when it's important.
We've seen the switch get flipped. The guys are goofing around. They're having, they're getting ready for the show, and then hey, doors are opening, and then it's
right. That's when it's important.
That's showtime.
Right, and I think that part, because there is, oddly enough, I do think that there's a lot of stuff that even though like the smart fan knows wrestling, there's some stuff they don't know.
Sure.
Let me be totally honest with you. This happened a couple of years ago at a Lancaster championship. And if you guys are local to the Lancaster area, you'll know exactly the incident I was talking about. But this involved the Red Scorpion and
he raked my back.
And Rob Noxious.
Yeah, no, he didn't literally rake him.
At like an intermission. It was wonderful. It really, really was. There's a account of it on, and I think it even be.
It's on our. We have it on our YouTube.
Is it our YouTube channel? We'll find it. We'll post it up on our Facebook page. but it was a wonderful moment of like, hey, it's intermission. Go meet the guys. They are in between kind of characters, but you can walk up to the bad guy and get the autograph. You know what I mean?
Right.
At any intermission. And these guys like put on a show to end the intermission. Like tables got flipped. They were shouting. Fans thought it was real. The security was like in on it. I think we were in on it because we were supposed to tape it. But
I was
I
was rolling camera on that.
A brilliant moment of like, oh, this is real. Holy cow. And you just don't see anything like that. But it was so raw. I think Rob was saying something about the Red Scorpion's mother or something like that. It was a great moment. It ended up like building into the show and ultimately like building to like a cage match between these guys. So kudos. I know we, poke fun at like the end of the LCW time and things like that, but it was a really cool moment. And I don't know if we ever even talked to the Red Scorpion or Rob about that, but that was really cool.
Yeah, and I mean it was really
that was real.
It was interesting for me because I was the person that was recording it, and the instruction I was given was make it look like you're catching, as it's starting, you're like rolling a phone camera. So I had to be ready with a camera, but not ready with a camera. So like, I know it's coming. I'm trying to, and I like, you see it in, like a Chicago PD show or something where you have people, they're watching a situation from a distance and you're waiting. So I'm and right, when it started, then it was like, boom. And yeah, it kudos to everybody involved on that. And again, yeah, we'll find the link. We'll post it up. But yeah, it was so well done. And everybody thought it, because I remember people talking after the show.
Yeah.
Because I think they kicked both of them out. The both of them were thrown out for the night. And
I think they left. Like,
well, Rob did. I think Scorpion then, because we did an interview with him after the fact where we talked to him about it. And
okay,
like,
they didn't leave. I don't fucking know.
I was hanging, and that was a night when it was like -6 degrees. It was like a winter show. So like I was standing out back of the, of the arena, and Scorp was coming back to get his shit. So I'm like freezing we're freezing our ass off filming this damn thing. But it was, yeah, I just, that was cool. And at that level, it has to be believable. Like a question I wrote down, and Mark will obviously get to your thoughts on this too, but like something like, because I remember this December in your house, 1995, Hershey Park Arena. We went to Christmas Candy Lane beforehand, my dad and my brother, my cousin and I. And there was a point, Mark, you probably know where it is, near where the old carousel was, where you could go. There's a wooden fence that looks towards like the parking area behind Hershey Park Arena. That's where obviously the wrestlers would park, because it was the entrance to the locker rooms were right there. So we had gone and we were looking through the fence to see if we could see any wrestlers arriving to the building, and Undertaker and Paul Bearer were arriving at the show. Now the Undertaker wasn't in like full like his gear, but like he wasn't Mark from Texas. He was the Undertaker in a Canadian tuxedo. So, and like, I mean, I was 10 years old, and I still remember him getting out of his car, and he was still the Undertaker. So like, he wasn't necessarily in gimmick, he was in character. Like, do you think it's something where even now with smart fans and internet fans and everybody has a camera and this and that, like, should guys arrive to the building at the very least in character? Or do you think that like that's passe in 2021?
No.
I would think they need to be they would need to be ready to be in character.
Gotcha.
I don't think they. I think we're past the point where you always have to be on, but you have to be ready because you don't know. And I guess this goes back to like the conversation of like, is kayfabe dead or not? And because that line is drawn, there's also like some fans that are cool and some fans that are not cool.
Yeah, I got you.
And if you're cool, maybe you tone it down a little bit. And maybe you're more Mark from Texas than you are Undertaker. But if you're a dude who's just trying to come by and like get stuff signed and you're bombarding and like you're asking
people
Mark questions.
Right.
Like, where's your flight from? Where'd you get your rental car?
Right.
Who trained you?
Yeah, like
how tall are you?
Yeah,
if you could have a dream match.
Like, if you start talking to them like you're interviewing them like as a member of like the TMZ news crew, then like you're gonna get treated. You're gonna talk to the Undertaker. You're not gonna talk to Mark from Texas.
Right.
And I think Ryan made an excellent point in that I know the one place kayfabe lives is the independents. I think as you start to get mainstream, there's just too many wackadoos who try to look up not even the wackadoos, but it's like internet wrestling in general. Like with internet and the wrestling fans, is like they will see somebody they like. For example, like they'll watch AEW and see a whole bunch of people they've never seen before.
Right.
And they start to go down the rabbit hole and they find like where they used to wrestle. And they find all the other names that they used to wrestle under. And then they start cross-referencing that. And then it gets to the point where, like, you're at a wrestling show and you start calling, like, for example, to make it sports-related, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. One of the best baseball players to ever play for the Atlanta Braves is a man by the name of Chipper Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Chipper's first name isn't Chipper.
Well, I'll be darned.
It's Larry.
Larry?
I never knew that.
I didn't know that either. I mean,
Larry.
I didn't know fucking Larry.
Chipper Jones's real first name is Larry. So fans who think they know Chipper Jones will scream from the stands, Larry! Larry! But he doesn't go by Larry. He's Chipper. It's Chipper Jones. And
is that where the Impractical Jokers got it? Probably.
That's what I was thinking.
So it's very much the same. Like, you know, a wrestler, you may know somebody's real name, but like, I don't have to respond to it. Call me by the name I want you to call me. You ain't gonna get nothing from me until then.
I mean, what's nice is that a podcast like this, we don't, have to kayfabe anything. Or anything. So we shoot you straight. Everything's true here. We don't lie about anything. Jim's a big softie. He loves everybody.
Yeah.
Jim is what he is. Mark's actually a real intern. These are all real things.
Yeah, and like, and the thing is too is like we know what we shouldn't talk about, or like things that like. We give you.
Is there things you think we should never talk about on the show? Because I feel like we could probably get away talking about almost anything.
I think that there's not a topic we could talk about, but I'm sure that it's kind of like journalistic integrity. It's like you may know the entire story of something.
That's fair. All right.
And in order to not incriminate yourself or your source or whatever, you don't
if you
say
know, you
everything.
know, sort of deals.
Yeah, you kind of like lean into not knowing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Real Rumble Friday and Saturday. It's going to be real great. There's 2 movies on Friday and 2 movies on Saturday, and I only know one of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You only know one of them?
Yeah.
I'll find out the other one for you.
Throw in the Google machine.
Wink, wink. I only know one of them.
I got you covered, Tim.
Right. Thanks.
I'll figure it out for you.
I appreciate it. I'm guessing it's a Roddy Piper movie.
But yeah. I mean, it's
The wrestler.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Oh, I thought you said Mickey Rourke.
Mark, what's your thought? Do you think kayfabe has a place today, or something like kayfabe? Not necessarily. I mean, obviously you are older than the rest of us, so you.
Or have you ever had a waitress named Kay or anything like that to take us on a tangent?
I've never heard of her.
Yeah.
I don't know her.
I've never heard of her.
There was a Kay that used to work. I can't remember if she was at the Eaton Park on Oregon Pike or the Denny's on Columbia Avenue, third shift. Yeah, she was all right. Nice enough, but not real personable. Better than Flossie, though. My God, I'd take her any day over Flossie. Freaking Flossie at Columbia Avenue Denny's. I was talking to Don Hutchinson about Flossie, and man, she was. You want to talk about waitress? Flossie was. First of all, it looked like she came from the graveyard, working the graveyard shift. That poor woman, terrible. I remember the one time my friend Sean Fegley had to eat his eggs with his hands because Flossie never brought him utensils. He's eating scrambled eggs with his hands. Sean, if you're listening, I know you remember that. We just came down from bowling at Leisure Lanes that night, and that was the night I rolled a turkey and Jim Axmaker fell on the floor right there at lane 22.
Oh my God, turkey tits.
That was it was in the 10th frame. I had the double, and Jim says if he gets the turkey, that's gonna be the end of him. Sure enough, I turkeyed. Jim Axmaker hits the floor. We went down to Denny's, had a good time. What were we talking about again? Flossie.
I ask myself the exact same question almost every Thursday around this time.
So
now, Mark,
let's
let's break kayfabe here. Are those real people that you know, or did you just make up those names on the spot?
No, they're all real.
Okay.
I've known Sean Fegley since kindergarten. He lives in Lancaster. Great guy.
Oh, I didn't need their backstory. I just wanted to know if they were real or not.
May I also ask another question?
Go ahead, Tim.
All of the people from Hershey Park who are from out of the country that you make friends with, do you actually learn their names, or do you just assign stereotypical names that may go with where you think they're from? Like, I met a friend at the arcade. His name is Gustavo. And then you actually talk to him and he goes, my name is Leon.
So no, they're real. The real names. And I'll give you a quick background. There's Cammie. Cammie's down in Columbia. There's a large group of kids from Columbia, not the armpit of Lancaster County. I'm talking about the country in South America.
Where Shakira's from, I think.
Yeah, Shakira. Yeah, her hips.
They have a lot of coffee down there.
They got
And
a lot of coffee.
cocaine.
There's Dommy's down there, Cammie, Juliana. I checked her out.
With the gimpy leg.
And then if you go over to Jordan, Reem is from Jordan. She's living in England with her sister. We communicate on Instagram a good bit. She's very upset about what's going on in Israel. Batul, I have two friends named Batul. Both are from Jordan. They're very upset about what's going on in Israel. It's unique to see their perspective. And did you see all the turmoil going on in Colombia? I had no idea.
I didn't know.
Until Juliana posted about it on her Facebook. But it's horrendous. But yeah, they're real
Colombia
people.
is beautiful this time of year, though, I've heard.
It's a gorgeous place. Honestly, it is.
It's right next to...
hell
is even that?
There's a lot of civil unrest there right now in particular parts of Colombia.
That's very unfortunate.
It is.
And I didn't realize Dommy was Colombian until I went in and I wished him a happy Cinco de Mayo at Moe's, the one Cinco de Mayo. He had no idea what I was talking about. He does now. His name's Carlos, but he had a name tag that said Dommy. To me, he's always Dommy, but he's really Carlos. Also in Colombia. Super nice guy. They're on my Instagram. If you ever look through my Instagram friends, they're all on there.
Go ahead, plug your Instagram, Mark. Get some more followers.
It's just my name, Mark Hottenstein. I've got 11,400 posts.
this week.
I think
You post
that's
a lot.
I think that's also the total number of combined days that he's never missed at Hershey Park and the Green Dragon and Roots and everything else, right?
I'm sorry, living the life. It was a great day. I'd
So-
like to get 11,400 weeks in a row where we win at trivia, like we won trivia last night here at Funky Town Brewing.
What he doesn't tell you is he's the only team playing.
Didn't even get an invite.
Are you serious? Hey,
Tim would have
80s
come
music.
up from Virginia, or wherever the fuck he lives.
There's no
Come on
way I'm driving an hour to do.
Dude, it's
How about
worth the
y'all
They
drive.
got good
FaceTime me?
wings. They got good wings.
Okay,
wings,
well
they got
I got
funky
a
fries.
nice bed.
All right,
They got it's Funky Town Brewing.
Mark,
That's
are they
great.
paying us money to say that? Then shut the fuck up.
Hey,
Yeah, but
Mark.
Erica's a very nice bartender, so.
Hey,
Who?
Hi, Erica. Erica.
KAYFABE. What do you think about it?
I'll tell you what, I think Vince McMahon kind of started to put an end to the kayfabe back in the 80s when he didn't want to pay money for the sports commissions. And then what really did it for me, and I was just a little intern at the time, I remember in the newspaper, the Lancaster New Era, that was the afternoon newspaper. My aunt used to get it. My mom always got the morning paper. But anyway, I'm sitting there. Cousin Brian's mom used to get the New Era.
I almost spit beer all over my goddamn camera when he said he was just a little intern.
I was just a little intern back then.
You know, it would have been a waste of good beer.
Oh, don't waste a good beer. This is a good story, though. And you guys will remember. On the back page, in a little tiny section where they had like celebrity news, it listed the arrest of Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Iron Sheik.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Do you guys remember that in the 80s?
I remember. I know the story because I've heard it told, but
I know. My favorite part of the story, before you go on, so after they get arrested, they do a drug test on Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Iron Sheik, and Iron Sheik's in the office, and they come in, and they go, Sheik, it's positive, and she goes, yes, it is positive. Yes, and they go, Sheik, no, that means bad, and he goes, oh.
And he was all excited because he felt that many was in the clear, that it was positive.
Yeah.
Jim Duggan tells that story, and that's exactly what Duggan says every time. Yeah, so in the back of the paper is this little article, just a few lines. And it said the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov were arrested in New Jersey for speeding and drug possession or whatever it was. And I thought, there's no way that's possible. They were feuding at the time. Like, what the heck is this? So to me, that's when kayfabe really died for me as a young intern. But yeah, I think like what you guys were saying with the indie shows, I think it's alive and well there for the most part. Now you have the smart fans that, but I think probably
It's okay. Come on up. Throw streamers.
Yeah, they got the streamer
like the
guy,
kid from
but
Bad Santa.
there's legitimately, I would say, probably more than half the crowd that is all in on that good guy versus bad guy. And I'm not talking like kids. I mean, there is senior citizens there sometimes that are convinced, and it's great. Like that, the Scorpion and Rob Noxious. I was there for that. I thought that was real. That's how well done it was. It was just out of the blue. Is that
I
intermission?
sent the link in the group chat. We can watch it, and then I'll post it for sure. But yeah,
Do you
that
also
was
remember
wild.
the other one that just came to my mind was one of the first PWE shows at the Zembo, and they did the angle where Leo Rush
Oh yes,
got jumped in the parking lot.
that actually got picked up by some like
Yeah,
news sites. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know, that local, wrestler got jumped in the parking lot outside of the show. And even like, I think we were just kind of, because
we were dumbfounded because we're with the boys, and it's like a pretty safe lot. It's
Yeah.
in a decent part of Harrisburg. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody had, and because we weren't commentary at that point. We were just doing the post show
right.
podcast. And, so nobody had even like tipped us off to that. And then it was like, and we like found out that it was a gimmick, and it was like, no shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it got picked up by news and everything. So it is neat when it gets pulled off on that level. So yeah, I think definitely at the independent level, it's it's tremendous.
Didn't the Pro Wrestling Empire once do a Hell in a Cell style match? What do they call it? Like a Cage of Hell, Cell of Hell?
It was similar to that.
Well, Tim took his thing out, so I'm not going to fucking say it.
It was similar to that double cage match thing. That
it was a double cage. I think that's what they called it. It was a double cage.
A double cage.
I think is what they call it. Yeah, it wasn't a Hell in a Cell. Well, they did do a Hell.
They did a Chamber of Hell match, is what they called it.
Chamber of Hell. I wasn't there for that one.
Right.
Yeah. The Red Scorpion had an umbrella during that match. I remember he's hiding behind it.
But then they might.
I feel like it was the Aftermath pay-per-view.
Is that the one where you can bring weapons?
That was every indie show in Lancaster County. Was you could bring a weapon.
I brought a cantaloupe to that show. I stopped at the Giant.
Did you know it wasn't a Gallagher concert?
Well, yeah, if he didn't bring a watermelon, he brought cantaloupe.
Yeah,
well, he graduates up to the watermelon.
He does. Actually, you're right.
Yes, he does as the show goes on. I still have stains in my upholstery in my vehicle from that show.
Apparently, one of my parents' first date, they had gone to see Kenny Rogers, and Gallagher opened up for Kenny Rogers.
That's unusual.
And my dad was in like the third row, and and it was an in the round. So Gallagher had he set up the table right in front of where my parents were sitting, and my dad said to my mom, "When I tell you, just duck." He's like, "What?" So he said, when Gallagher starts counting, and my dad they like got down because the people around them had tarps. They knew knew what was up, so they like hit the deck, and he said, "You heard the sound, and then you just smelled melon." It was just like this, and you could hear everybody's feet were sticking to the floor.
They're probably still cleaning up at that Harrisburg show I went to. It was that bad.
And the dickish thing that he would do is, so every time with the Sledge-O-Matic, he had the big giant bucket of soapy water.
Oh yeah.
So he would hit all this fruit and condiments or whatever, and he goes, "And clean up is easy," and he would thwomp it right in this bucket and shoot soapy water all over everyone.
What a mess.
What a dick.
All right.
So bad.
Didn't his brother end up doing a bunch of the shows?
Gallagher too. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because did the original Gallagher? He was sick or something, wasn't he?
I don't know.
That's why he retired.
I think what it was is that Gallagher sold his show to his brother.
But he wasn't ever billed as Gallagher 2, right? It was just billed as Gallagher.
He was Gallagher, but
Right.
it was Gallagher 2. He was the second.
Kayfabe's alive and well everywhere.
Yeah.
There it is.
Gallagher shows doesn't
All right.
matter.
So we
know
have
where kayfabe isn't alive and well is at Bowser's Rock and Roll parties.
No time for this, Mark.
No
Table that for
time.
next week.
we have one of two times. I don't think we have time to get to both of them.
Early Shawn Michaels was better. We can make this real easy.
Late Shawn Michaels was absolutely better than early Shawn Michaels.
All right, well, fuck, here
Better
we go.
matches.
Because I watched the dodocumentary.
What documentary?
The one on A&E. They've been doing them weekly for the last 7 weeks. This past week was Shawn Michaels. This coming week is the Ultimate Warrior. And yeah, like early Shawn, late Shawn, absolutely late Shawn.
Yeah.
Not only to come back from the injury he came back from at the age he was at, not doing it for how many years, and to have
Jesus Christ on your side.
There's that. But also, like his the matches that he had more all-time classics post-injury than he did before.
Yeah,
absolutely.
His career was significantly longer post-injury. He came back from 2002. He had 20 extra years.
I mean, his rocker matches weren't so bad.
16 years.
When do you think he retired?
2002.
No.
Oh, no, that's when he came back.
Yes.
I don't know. He just wrestled. He wrestled and fucking heads will roll.
Doesn't count. Not the
it
same.
does too.
No.
It absolutely does.
No.
Was he ever?
The real question should be, how great would Shawn Michaels have been if he never injured his back? And we don't have a will he return or not, because he lost 4 years in his prime from 98 to 2002.
Well,
I don't know if we get late career Shawn Michaels because of the path he was going down.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I think he needed the time
I
off.
think the injuries not only saved
Really?
his
Okay.
saved his career, saved his life.
Okay.
Because that dude,
Imagine,
he was hurting big time. Not just the back injury, but
Is
the
it
drugs.
the Sunny thing? The Sunny thing? Is that what you're alluding to?
the sunny days.
No, I'm talking about the drugs.
Oh, the
Somas.
drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Somas,
that's
the
fair.
coke, the fucking booze,
So
all
bad.
of it, all of the above.
Okay, that sounds like a great time.
You know, I
Sure.
can't help but think his career may have been cut shorter if he wrestled in one of those matches with the two cages and the double ring.
It may have. It may have.
But that was a WCW thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I know they did one up at Harrisburg. It wasn't Harrisburg's not just for Gallagher shows.
It's
No,
not.
heck no.
I
mean, that's a perk.
But it.
That's what Sean took.
He took those too. If they were manufactured, he took them. But yeah, I think late Shawn Michaels is better.
Tylenol
Mark,
with codeine.
he probably took those. Mark, do you think late Shawn Michaels is better or pre-injury?
Oh
Shawn?
yeah. No, late Shawn Michaels was fantastic. I don't know that anybody saw that coming. But I think he still would have had a great legacy even if he didn't come back. But I don't know that people would consider him one of the greatest or the greatest if he didn't. So
Yeah,
yeah, late Shawn Michaels.
I don't think he makes it to WrestleMania 26 without the injury.
26,
Nope.
isn't that the one? Oh, never mind.
For Brett came back. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
that's
I
the one.
thought.
Yeah,
At the
not a
big
good
toaster.
WrestleMania.
Big toaster.
Big toaster. All right. So the other topic du jour, last week's Dark Side of the Ring, was on Nick EFFIN Gage. You know, I know we've talked about death matches before, so this isn't going to be a, you know, are you a fan of death match wrestling or are you not? I think we've covered that from time to time, and I'm sure we'll hit it here. But like the thing that like blew me away watching the documentary, and I've seen, you know, we've been to shows that he's been on, and like, you know, I think for me the only one of the only ones I was at was down at either H2O or Hybrid, one of the ones down in Jersey, is like the crazy level of over that guy is with his fan base. And like I knew he had I vaguely knew this story, learned the details, watched the documentary last week, and it was like, holy hell. You know, I mean, like, fucking crazy. Not just what he did to end up in prison, but like the whole story. And like it just blew me away. Like the hero worship with him. It was like I mean, I respect the guy in some ways. I don't respect him in other ways. And it just that, I mean, I thought it was it's probably one of my favorite Dark Side episodes because it just it fucking blew me away.
Yeah, here's a guy, I think we can loop back to our conversation on kayfabe. Here's a guy that doesn't need kayfabe at all, because I feel like what you see is what you get. It's Nick fucking Gage, MDK all day. Like there's no kayfabing what you get. I think you really have to look at it in perspective of the respect that he gets. Here's a guy that was the first CZW, I think, World Heavyweight Champion. He made his debut in wrestling in 1999. He's still wrestling death matches today, 22 years later. That, I think, in and of itself is something that, wrestling fan of death match or not, you have to respect. 22 years in that style of pro wrestling is unreal.
Sure.
I get he was gone for 5 years. That's, yep. We can then draw the same Shawn Michaels conclusions.
Sure.
If he went for those 5 years just as hard, would he be able to do it today? I think you can look at Nick Gage and look at the success that CZW had a few years ago and credit Nick Gage. when he got out of prison and came back, that put CZW back on the map. You can look at Nick Gage and really credit him. And obviously Brett has great ideas for GCW, but what Nick Gage has done for GCW and that independent wrestling promotion, unreal, just unreal. Revolutionized the deathmatch industry, the deathmatch scene. And you have a company that is outside of the major televised companies, the largest indie company in the United States in GCW. And you have to credit Nick Gage for some of that.
Between Nick Gage and Joey Janela.
Right.
Janela, sure. Janela's another one. Yep.
But
I think Brett has got an incredible mind for the business. Came up and I think saw the mistakes that were being made in CZW and said, I'm not going to make those mistakes with GCW.
It's almost the same. I think you can do GCW is to EC or CZW as like ROH was to ECW, because Gabe Sapolsky was like a underling for Paul Heyman.
Yep.
And learned everything he knew from Paul, so that when he was in charge at Ring of Honor, it was like he had the same principles as Paul, like accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. And instead of hardcore wrestling, it was pure wrestling and things like that. So very much the same. I got nothing but respect for Nick Gage, man. Nick, you know, the phrase American Dream is getting thrown around a lot recently in wrestling. Especially with Cody Rhodes announcing that he's going to be take the mantle of the American Dream come Double or Nothing against Anthony Ogogo. But Nick Gage is that like American Dream type story of second, third, fourth chances. I mean, man was at rock bottom, did a horribly stupid thing in which John Moxley had the line of the entire documentary.
Yeah,
and was like, so Nick Gage's thing is that he wears a mask. He wears a bandana to the ring. And then he goes and robs a bank, and he ain't got nothing on his face. Like,
right.
So
right.
Gage does his time for that. He breaks parole. He goes back for a little more. But like, the fan base is there with him. It's like, it's hero worship is like one thing, but it's like Nick Gage could be any of us, I guess, to a certain degree. Like, Nick Gage has a lot of everyman type qualities about him.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
He's a dude who fights, and like, you can't tell me he doesn't love his fans. Like,
yeah,
that guy loves every single person that rides with him. Like, do you know who he's almost analogous to? And like, he's not necessarily in a great vein right now, but like another person who is very much like Nick Gage in the way he's like loyal to his fans is Teddy Hart.
Yeah.
Teddy Hart's like, boo me, I don't care. If you cheer for me, I will die for you. Exact quote from Teddy Hart. If you cheer for me, I will die for you.
Sure.
And like, that was him. And like, I can't stand like Teddy Hart the person.
No.
But when I tell you, I saw him wrestle in Philly for that hardcore homecoming, or what's House of Hardcore and TNA show with the Muda.
Oh yeah.
And
yep.
And it was a triple threat with Teddy Hart, Willie Mack, and somebody. Can't recall who the third man was. And Teddy Hart was fantastic.
The only time I've seen Teddy Hart wrestle was actually at ACW.
Yeah.
Matt and I had made a trip down to New Jersey to see him at a hybrid show, and it was one of the points where he couldn't leave the state he was in or something. The actual, like a one of the United States, not like a inebriated state, but he was probably that too. But like, yeah, when he's
Jim,
on,
that's an awful joke.
when he's
we would
on.
never make jokes like that on this show. Come on, Jim.
When he was actually on a show and he was locked in, I mean, yeah, I mean the guy's a piece of shit. Like, but when he in the ring,
He was
guy,
probably the most talented heart from that group. I mean, the talent and some of the shit he could do in the ring. I mean, Owen probably was the closest.
Well, I mean, of the next generation of hearts, because Brett, Bulldog, Owen, all the brothers, and then the next generation of hearts, because the next generation took the lessons, like wrestling lessons of the Hart family, and then also applied them to what wrestling was becoming.
Right, definitely modernized.
And
style.
Because that's Teddy, TJ, Natalia, Davey Boy Jr.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
Like the only one that I would say would even probably come close to him would be TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TJ's great.
But TJ, infinitely better person than Teddy. So,
right. But to get back to Nick Gage, MDK is it's something. It wouldn't have such a hold if there wasn't some sort of truth in that,
yeah, it's I mean, it's real.
That's I think why he calls it a gang.
Yeah.
MDK is a gang. What's your gang about? Oh, they're my fans.
I remember,
but it's a gang. It's a gang. It's a gang of people. I'm pretty sure that the MDK gang would actually kill some people.
Probably.
There's a line from Jake the Snake Roberts in Beyond the Mat, where he's like, "I could be elected mayor here tomorrow." I don't care anywhere in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, any of those places, particularly the Philly area. Nick Gage could probably he probably could. He could probably get elected into office if he was allowed to run for office.
I don't think he can run.
I don't think he can, but if he could, he did, he would win.
Right.
And it's that sort of a thing, and it because it's it's real. Mark, did you watch the Dark Side?
Sure did. Boy, that was a tough one to watch. I'll tell you, just the blood and the guts, and what a story. If you guys out there listening haven't seen it and aren't familiar, it's well worth watching. It's really good, really good. Yeah, nothing but respect for him, that's for sure. But man, that the thing that really I couldn't believe that he's there bleeding out, he's dying in a cornfield.
Yeah, tournament of death.
Tournament of death. He's literally dying, and he wants to get back in the ring. And if he would have tried to go back in there, he would have died because he flatlined in the helicopter, the medvac.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I can't wrap my head around
when
it.
he says at the end of the end of the episode that he's not gonna he basically I'm gonna die young. I mean, when you hear somebody say that, you go, well, are you? Him, he might.
Well, yeah, but
he might die in the ring.
It's almost like when Nick said that I'm probably gonna die young, and then they're like, are you okay? Are you good with that? And he goes, yeah, I'm good with that. It reminded me eerily of another documentary that's gone around with Roddy Piper, and Piper's interview where he's like, I'm gonna collect I can collect pension at 65, but I'm not gonna make it to 65 to get it.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to that. It's I don't want to say it's self-fulfilling prophecy. I think it's a person knows their body, and they know that I've put miles on this thing that is beyond the make and model. This might be
a rental car.
This might be it might be a model from the 1980s, but I've put miles on it like I've driven it since the 1890s. There's way too many miles on this thing.
There's Freddie Mercury in an interview one time, and I think this was even before he was sick. And he had said something along the lines of he doesn't want to live to be, or he didn't want to or wasn't going to live to be like in his 70s. And I think, at that point he was probably aware that his lifestyle was had a degree of danger to it. But it's that same sort of feeling, is there are some people that they know that based on how they live their life, they're getting the most out of the time. They're not going to be they're not going to live in a nursing home. They're not going to spend their final years struggling to walk down the hall. They're going to.
I've got the quote.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to go down in history as one of those people who worried, hoping they realize after I'm dead I created something or invented something. Life is for living. I don't give a damn about all of that. In the meantime, I've had fun and I want to go on having fun doing this. I don't want to sound morbid. 70 is a long way away. As far as I'm concerned, I've lived a full life, and if I'm dead tomorrow, I don't give a damn. I lived. I really have done it all. I certainly don't have any aspirations to live to 70. It would be so boring. I will be dead and gone long before that. What year
that was from?
I'm looking.
I want to say, he had the shorter hair and the mustache. I can't remember exactly what era that was in.
It's a quote from his book, A Life in His Own Words. There's no citation on that.
Hot Space, I believe, was the album, the first album when he had cut his hair and had the mustache, and that came out in 82. So I think it was even around that era. I don't think it was later. And me, I don't know the exact timetable on things. So I don't know if he was already aware of any health issues by that point. But
right.
Yeah, it's some people know. Some people know based on how they live life. You just kind of know. But yeah, it was one of the better Dark Side episodes. I'm certainly looking forward to the rest of this season. I think that they've really kind of found their niche, and they continue to get better each episode, each season. So I am looking forward to that. Any other thoughts on Nick Gage and the documentary before we move on?
One of the few, if not the only one, centered on somebody that's still alive.
Yeah, I think ones that are on a specific person, because like tonight,
strictly on that, like
tonight's is the collision in Korea.
Correct.
So there's people alive who.
Right. Season 1 was Moolah, Gino, the Von Erichs, Bruiser Brody, Savage Elizabeth,
New Jack,
and the screw job. New Jack was still alive.
New Jack was still alive
at the time. What was season 2? Benoit, Dino Bravo had one.
Owen Hart,
the Road Warriors. Yeah, season 2 was Benoit, New Jack, Brawl for All, Jimmy Snuka, Dino Bravo, Dave Schultz, the UWF with Herb Abrams, the Road Warriors, and Owen Hart.
So here's a guy whose story, by all accounts, could have been dead, could have died in that helicopter ride. Who the hell knows what happens behind bars, but able to still tell his story and still do what he does after all of that. So I think that's why it was such a compelling story, that even if you're not a deathmatch guy or a deathmatch fan, you should probably check this episode out.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's hit the news. All right, Tony Khan appeared on Busted Open yesterday. We were aware of this, but to announce a new agreement with Warner Media that will see AEW Dynamite move to CBS starting in 2022. It's reported, I believe, in PW Insider that it is an 8-figure deal. So it's a very broad number if you're doing math, but it is financially a good deal for All Elite Wrestling. It was also revealed that a new TV show called AEW Rampage will premiere on Friday nights, 10 p.m. The 1-hour TNT show will premiere Friday, August the 13th. Rampage will also move to TBS with Dynamite in 2022. AEW will also begin airing quarterly TV specials on TNT in 2022. So they are on the move, but they will still be part of TNT as well.
I can confirm it's very, 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 very low 8 digits.
Okay. But I think
Tim, as a WCW guy, is this a step down for AEW to go to Thunder?
No, because it's not Thunder. It's WCW Saturday Night. It's Clash of the Champions.
Okay.
It's a time because TNT wasn't always around. Before TNT, it was TBS.
It was TBS. Sure.
I have one question because I don't know. I don't know for sure. Like, is TBS available on compared to TNT?
Yes.
Is it on the same number of channel or same number of like
I
if you have
TBS
TNT, do you have TBS?
It's in the super box.
I'm pretty sure TBS is more readily available than TNT. Normally, if you have TNT, you have TBS.
Yeah, I mean every cable
other way around. Yeah.
Blue Ridge locally, DirecTV, and now Xfinity. I have both.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like here's the thing too. You can watch them on like TNT on demand or Turner on demand or whatever it is. So even if you don't have TBS, I think you can get it after the fact if you can't get it live, which a lot of people do anyway. So
I think it's actually a better move for them to go to TBS anyways, because they will only be preempted in like March for college basketball,
right,
and October for baseball. That's it.
Right, where otherwise you would have been
preempted now for basketball.
Well, and with the NHL coming into TNT, that's what, and you know what I mean. Back when NXT moved and then the NHL announced that they were going with TNT instead of NBC Universal. Tony Khan, I think, was on Busted Open and said, TNT's our network. And I think I even said, I was like, if the price is right, they will move. It's a business. And here we are, I think 3.5 weeks later, they're moving. But again, it's a smart business move. They're making a lot of money.
They're moving and they're adding another show.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So,
in 2018, Jim, TNT was 89.57 million homes. TBS was 90.39. So 750,000 more homes now in TBS.
There you go. All right. WWE's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view will take place on June 20th, earlier than its usual October date. It will mark the WWE's final pay-per-view, Ryan, inside of WWE Thunderdome, a return to the road scheduled to begin in July. Per sources close to WWE, Sports Illustrated reported today, July's pay-per-view will be Money in the Bank. The reason behind the move internally is believed that Hell in a Cell in June will be broadcast from the Thunderdome, while Money in the Bank in July currently slated to be held in front of a crowd in Texas, significantly more captivating with fans. The report went on to say there's a sense of optimism throughout WWE for its persistence to run weekly shows throughout the pandemic, especially with the creative outlet of the Thunderdome. Once WWE does hit the road, as we reported before, there are no plans for it to return to the Thunderdome. Weekly travel will then commence for Raw and SmackDown, with the summer storylines built around SummerSlam in August. SI confirmed SummerSlam will take place in Nevada. So I would imagine that Money in the Bank, because I think that's going to be the kickoff weekend to the return to touring from the reports that I've read this week. And I think they're all going to be in the same location. So SmackDown, pay-per-view Sunday, and Monday Night Raw will all be at the same location. And I assume that will be an arena. My guess would be American Airlines Center in Dallas. would be the kickoff point. I don't. They haven't reported where exactly that's going to be. The prevailing belief for SummerSlam, and I think this is actually pretty cool, is Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, home of the Raiders. So that's Big Boy Stadium for SummerSlam. I think that one has a retractable roof, I believe, as well. So you could potentially have that open. Not sure if you want it open in a desert in August, but that'll remain to be seen. But it is a cool looking stadium nonetheless. But Ryan, we're coming up on the end here of the Thunderdome.
Thank
Yes,
God.
Tim.
I'm very curious as to when that All Out, or when SummerSlam is in August.
I think it's the 22nd.
Okay, that is the week. Is that going to be? I'm
I
looking.
think All Out's Labor Day, isn't it? Does that be the next week?
No, Labor Day would be, because Labor Day is the first Monday in September, right?
Something like that.
So it would be weekend of September 4th, 5th. So there would be 2 weeks in between.
Okay, yeah.
I was sitting here thinking they're going to Vegas, and they're going to do a pay-per-view in Vegas. And
man,
Impact or AEW usually go for Double or Nothing.
Right.
And All Out is usually Chicago.
Oh yeah, but this Double or Nothing's still at Daly's place.
Yeah.
This one.
So I would assume that maybe they would like try to do All Out at the MGM Grand.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, I don't think
I'm very curious about that.
I don't think it'll be the same weekend. Also, this week, in a report from Andrew Zarian of the Matman podcast, WWE working on new sets for both Raw and SmackDown. This is to go with the return to the touring schedule. No word on when Raw and SmackDown will have their new stages, but they will each have their own specific looks with the new stages. They are being built as of now. So the Thunderdome staging going to be gone. Whole new looks for both. I'm excited about that.
2 words.
Fist me.
And then finally, we did talk about it earlier. The Miz reportedly suffered torn ACL in the lumberjack match this past Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash. No word as of yet if it is a partial tear or a full tear. Partial would only put him out for a couple of months. A full tear would put him out anywhere between 7 to 9, possibly more, with rehab. So we will keep an eye on that. And then finally, it was reported late last week, Ricky Starks, AEW, has been diagnosed with a fractured neck and expected to miss somewhere around 3 months of action. Is a slight fracture. He is expected to remain on television in some capacity, as surgery will not be required. This goes back to the spot where he landed on his neck from a German suplex against Hangman Page on April the 21st, AEW Dynamite. He took to social media after the match, said, "I'm good. Thank you, DDP Yoga, for my flexibility." So Devin says he hopes to get a new set for the pay-per-views. I think you're probably going to see a hybrid of the two, as we've seen in recent years. I think it would be cool if WWE had because WrestleMania is always going to be its own thing. I think it would be cool if they had a big 3 set. Well, I don't know if you could do it though, because Royal Rumble is kind of in baseball stadiums now. So you have like the dugout set, which is cool enough,
which is its own thing. Yeah.
Which is super cool. So like Survivor Series and SummerSlam maybe have sets that would be for those.
I don't think people even give a shit about Survivor Series anymore.
I think it's Money in the Bank that gets the set.
I really think Survivor Series is slipping down even the WWE's importance list.
Oh yeah, I don't. So,
I mean, think about it. It wasn't too long ago that Survivor Series was on the chopping block to not be a pay-per-view anymore.
That's true.
They can say like the brand supremacy thing, and even then it was like whatever.
Because it doesn't actually mean it. It doesn't like get you the final entrant into the Royal Rumble or anything like that. So like maybe if you had something that was SummerSlam and Money in the Bank, and then you had in every other pay-per-view set, like just something that looks different than Raw or SmackDown. That would be cool. Like I don't expect to see, the swinging hooks for 1 month and then like what all the crazy. We're never going to get back to that. It's too expensive, and like the cost to build the stages, the cost to transit the stages with trucking that's not part of your normal grouping in the tour. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but part of the frustration that a lot of people had with the sets, and like myself, is I know that the sets they use now are transformable, and you can you can align them in any sort of way you want, and and yet they continually align it the exact same way every time, and there's no creativity.
Right, more than meets the eye. Transformers.
Right, like they don't like. They don't try. It's just like, okay, well, there's a big screen. We're gonna put LED boards around here, and they flex like this, and that's it.
Yeah, it was. It was literally a meshing of the two, and even the two were relatively
the same.
So my hope here is that Raw and SmackDown will have distinct looks. And like I said, even if you just have a different pay-per-view set, it doesn't I don't even care if it's anything crazy. Just make it look different.
It's like
pay-per-view should be different.
It's like Under Pressure and Ice Baby.
Yeah, the little
the ting.
When was the last time we had distinct set? Was it the Raw had like the little slanty doodad that Kevin Owens ran up
The
that one
half
time?
pipe.
Yeah, I had that.
Like that was really
that one was weird.
I like the vert ramp.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Like it was. I mean, it was very different. It was very different.
People still bitched about it.
I was happier when they centered the, like the entrance to the state. Like I think for the first couple weeks, it was this big like vert ramp, and then your entrance from Gorilla was like 3/4 of the way onto the right, and I'm like, that just.
I like that though. I do like the off-center ramp because it gives you the backdrop. You can use the LED board as like a step and repeat, and you don't have anything in the background. You don't have like a big gaping hole of an entrance in the background.
Can I tell you what I absolutely loathe? The big fucking rattlesnake CGI that they put up for like Randy Orton
on the stage.
Nope. No, the staging thing is fine. It's like
the augmented reality.
Oh, the
Viper.
CGI.
Yes.
Oh, I like that stuff.
I fucking hate it.
Now, to a degree, like
take Matt Riddle's birds.
I don't like.
Get
I
rid
don't
of
like
them.
the birds like in the rain, but like the big man. Like I like it at the entrance point. I don't like it once you get down to the
Just
ring.
give me Roman Reigns 8G walking toward me. That's all I need.
I was watching SmackDown on Friday a little bit, and Megan was in the room, and I think Roman Reigns started the show, and it was the CGI Roman Reigns, and she goes, "Is that a statue?" And I'm like, "No, babe, that's
it's just so I don't know. It's like a fucking dolphin coming out of water.
I like that stuff. I actually like the big CGI stuff. Again, at the because again, it's a TV show, so like you don't get it live, obviously, but like it's presented to the TV audience in a different way than the live experience. So I actually like those, but again,
it's about as cool as the glow puck.
No, it's definitely
Was
better
for
than
hockey.
the glow puck. It's
No,
definitely
it's
better
not.
than the glow puck. Now, Matt Riddle's birds are the glow puck of the WWE. I will agree with that. Anything else, guys, before we wrap it up this week?
No, fucking 20 minutes over. Unreal.
Ryan, we don't have a go.
We don't have a go home time. You missed the cue.
We definitely what cue? Oh yeah.
Cue.
All right, let's
Oh no, not that cue. That's Drake Wirtz.
Oh. Right, that's what I was like. Say what now? He go.
No,
He go.
CUE.
See ya, buddy. See ya, VD.
See you never.
You see you never. Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a ton to plug tonight. Shockingly, there's a Woman of the Week. I'm sure Matt's doing that. It's on our Instagram page. You can find that it's at 3 Count Thursday, the number 3, then the word Count Thursday for Matt not being here. You can go ahead and tweet him the poop emoji to at 3CT affiliate. That's 3CT affiliate. My name is Ryan. You can follow me. It's RYN Eagle. I don't give a shit. I don't know if I even tweeted much anymore. There's not much to tweet about these days for Ryan. That's all I got for you. Wish I had something more exciting to say here.
Your last tweet was yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Was it a retweet?
The Thunder Rosette asked if I did a 1-hour Iron Woman match, who should be my opponent?
I responded, but like, what is my last standalone tweet?
Your last standalone tweet.
That wasn't like a retweet or something like that.
You 100% authorized the tweet from the 3 Count account. They took away the stupid sound effect at the beginning of Ricochet's theme.
That sounds correct. They sure did.
That was the last thing you actually tweeted.
I'll take it.
There you go. Intern Mark, got anything to plug?
And the word was authored, not authorized.
Authorized.
Authored.
Authored? No,
authored.
said
I
authorized.
wrote that tweet. It did not say authorized.
Mark, go ahead and start plugging. I'm going to look this up again.
All right. I'm at Not the Tool Man across all platforms. We have a new Woman of the Week. You can follow me at Ryan Eagle on Twitter. Catch me on Tuesday to the Big Jim podcast. I talk everything sports. Let me see what's going on. We got Hershey Park will be opening next Thursday every day of the week. That's exciting.
Did they change their hours with the opening of things? Oh, did I open a can of worms?
Man, we can't even get into it. No,
okay.
Their hours have been reduced this.
So it's still only open till 7?
Yeah, still 7. And I think the middle of June they bumped to 8 p.m.
Oh boy, things are getting hot and
they're-
heavy in there, Hershey, PA.
Man, I'll tell you, but they don't require the mask anymore. They're not doing temperature screening, and by the end of May, you don't need a reservation to get in if you don't have a season pass. So before, if you even had a ticket, you had to register to go to keep things under the capacity. But now June 1st and so on. So get ready.
Get ready, Ryan. You're right. It was authored. You're right.
Authored.
Tim,
I
go
know
ahead.
what I tweet.
Arthur. Go get him, Tim.
Mark so eloquently said it at Not the Tool Man across all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, if you care.
What about TikTok?
I'm on TikTok. I don't talk. I just watch the ticks. It's real fun. I enjoy it. I do a couple other podcasts aside from this one. Final Wrestling Place, where we put the nouns of professional wrestling in their eternal resting place. We've been talking about developmental call-ups, and our season finale is this week, where we cover the both runs of both Rob Conway and Sean Spears, and we put both of those in their Final Wrestling Place. So it's fun. Also, we do a live reaction podcast to every WWE, AEW, and NXT pay-per-view called Viewer's Choice. You can follow those on Twitter at Final Place Pod and at VC on North South. But this weekend, I will be at the Mahoning Drive-In in Lehighton, Pennsylvania, for Real Rumble Weekend. Bryce Remsburg, Orange Cassidy, a whole shebang. A whole bunch of people are going to be out hanging out at the drive-in. Four matches both nights on Friday and Saturday, and 2 movies at each drive-in. So, Mark, do you have a question?
I have a question. I raised my hand.
Sure, go ahead.
Is Closed for the Season still playing at the drive-in, or is that over now?
I'm not
I saw
sure.
it advertised for the last few months.
I'm not sure. But for Friday, it is They Live and a mystery movie. And Saturday, it is Beyond the Mat and Mr. Nanny. It's going to be a fun time.
boy.
I will be there for both nights. So if you are there, come by and say hi. I will be the guy with short hair with pink tips and a Dragon Ball Z face mask. It will be really fun. So
That Mr. Nanny will put some butts in the seat.
sure will put some cars in the parking lot. But other than that, our 3-count woman of the week is Vert Vixen. You may know her from her appearance on AEW Dark this week.
There you go. All right, you can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Make sure you're following the show at 3 Count Thursday. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you tell Matt at 3CTA Philly 8 how much you enjoyed looking at Shane McMahon's face all night with him not being here. He should be back next week. 3CountThursday.com. Subscribe to our show. All podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon Music, everywhere you can find podcasts. Until next week, stay safe, stay smart, and go for the pin. Recount Thursday is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app. That's arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?